Hey guys, this is Mo from Mo in the Deep End, and in a shock to no one, we are going to delve into whether douchiness is nature versus nurture. And in Gareth PurseHouse case, it might be a little bit of both. Now, I'm not saying that California may or may not be the breeding ground of, well, nature creating a bunch creating the environment where narcissistic, self-absorbed people become major douche people. However, let's see, because it seems like his father may or may not have been a douche too, but we shall uncover it. This comes from thedailymail.com. Ta-da! From theinternet.com. Exclusive. Father of ex-boyfriend who murdered, quote unquote. I guess what they're trying to say is allegedly murdered. I don't know. This maybe UK, they don't say allegedly, they just air quotes murder. Okay. Hollywood sex therapist Amy Harwick was also accused of stalking by his ex-fiancée, who took out a restraining order against him for harassing her. Uh, Gareth PurseHouse is charged with murdering Amy Harwick after allegedly attacking her at her Hollywood Hills, California home last Saturday. So obviously this was written February 21st, 2020, and it was written by Josh Boswell. So this was fairly old, and someone dug this up, but awesome. And thank you for Reindeer who found this. Harwick, 38, got a protective order against PurseHouse in 2011 after ending their relationship. PurseHouse's British-born father, Paul, who died last July, also had a restraining order taken out against him by his ex-fiancée, Deborah Vale. Vale, a 69-year-old San Diego-based real estate broker, claimed Paul had been harassing me by phone, by email, and in person through my friends. So douchiness is both. Poor poor Gareth, he had both nature and nurture, and he should be neutered. Personal opinion. And remember, I'm not here to offer life advice or neutering advice. I am not Barker. Though there is an opening, but Drew Carey seems to be there and, you know. But if they're looking for a mouthy redhead to substitute on days for Price is Right, I'm available. She claimed Paul had showed up about 3 times to about 3 of my community events per week, and he was absolutely obsessed with her. The father of Gareth PurseHouse, charged with murdering former Playboy model and LA sex therapist Amy Harwick, had a restraining order against him at the same time as his son, court documents obtained by the Daily Mail reveal. That Christmas letter. So, it's been an interesting year this year. Both Gareth and Paul have had a productive time at the courthouse. It's led to father and son bonding over protective order and anger management time. So, on the plus side, they've had a lot of bonding time for cereals. Harwick, 38, got a protective order against PurseHouse in 2011 after ending their relationship. The legal protection expired just weeks before the 6'4" computer programmer allegedly attacked her at her Hollywood Hills home last Saturday, resulting in her death from a 3-story fall from a balcony. Just 1 year before Harwick sought legal protection from PurseHouse, his British-born father, Paul, was also subject to a restraining order by his ex-fiancée, Deborah Vale, California records reveal. Wow, he is, I love how the prosecution didn't use this picture and use that goofy ass picture, because it is eating him up to watch that ridiculous ass picture every time they pull it up. And, good on her for being a Playboy model. Heck, I wouldn't want to, but, and then there's the dad. Okay, dad and son look nothing alike. must see picture of mother because I don't know. So this is PurseHouse's father, Paul, who died last July. Okay, sorry. Also had a restraining order taken out against him by his ex-fiancée, Deborah Vale, so that's who that was. The 69-year-old San Diego-based real estate broker claimed that Paul had been harassing her by phone, email, and in person. Okay, so obviously what we read before. Paul, who died 8 months ago, was hit with a protective order filed in 2009 from Vale. He's been showing up to about 3 of my community events per week for the last few weeks in an attempt to see and talk to me, Vale wrote to the court. Well, he claimed you have the big sads. You know, that trumps everything. If you have the big sads, then women must be able to talk to, or you must go talk to them because, the big sads. I have told him repeatedly that we're over and I want nothing to do with him, yet he refuses to leave me alone, and his harassment and obsession with me seems to be escalating. I have also gotten countless hang-up calls, and I believe Paul is calling to harass me. Additionally, Paul is harassing my friends, including my friend Joanne, who has sent me a warning email stating that she has repeatedly tried to tell him to leave me alone and reminding him that things are over, Vale added. She wrote that he could not stop talking about me and keeps hoping that there is a future for us and refuses to take no for an answer. She also warned me that he is absolutely obsessed with me. Hmm. Hmm. Nope, nothing alike. This is not no genetic links. This is before splitting, the couple had lived together in Oceanside, south of Los Angeles. Residency recordings shows PurseHouse later moved to an apartment in San Diego before his death in July last year. Paul, whose MySpace account still shows a picture of him and Val together, appealed the California court's decision to place a 3-year restraining order against him, but the appellate court later unanimously upheld the ruling in 2010. 1 year later, his son was subject to the same form of protective order after an acrimonious breakup with his sex therapist girlfriend, Harwick. Oh, well, a year after Paul's restraining order against him was upheld, his son was subject. So, well, the father and the son. Oh, Lord. Friends told thedailymail.com that Harwick described PurseHouse as her crazy ex. While LA court records show she petitioned for a second restraining order in 2012, though the second order was dismissed after she did not follow up with her application. Despite losing his father last year, a longtime friend of PurseHouse said he was in high spirits when she saw him for the first time in about 5 years at a pornography industry awards party last month run by the industry magazine XBiz and hosted by porn legend and Donald Trump's alleged mistress, Stormy Daniels. Alana Evans, 43, president of the Adult Performers Actors Guild. There's a union I could get behind. Phrasing. She said she knew PurseHouse for years and had met him when he worked as a photographer in the porn industry. Never mind. I'm just thinking what kind of filters you would never. Yeah, okay. But he disappeared from the field without explanation about 5 years ago. He went into hiding. I've known Gareth for a long time. When he was more involved in the industry in the mid-2000s, he was a photographer who was around the business and at shows. He was super hyper, very friendly, a very big man. Evans told thedailymail.com, when I saw him at XBiz, I hadn't seen his face in years. I got up and talked to him. I caught his attention and he gave me a big hug. The guild president said her suspicions were raised when her old friend was cagey about his absence from the porn industry. I asked where he had been and he was so vague with his answer. He said that he had stepped away from the industry, but now he was back. He'd gone on, look, he had to go on a spirit quest. He had to do, what is it? He was just going away. He had to find his spirit animal. Look, he was a closet furry. Allegedly, I'm just speculating. He didn't mention any issues with an ex or anything like that. It was like he didn't want to answer why he had been absent from the scene. It sounds now as if it was because he had this restraining order. Hmm, hmm, hmm. It's almost like I would be arrested if I was near my ex-girlfriend. Almost like I was an asshole and I would have been in the clink. A close friend of Harwick told the Daily Mail that the therapist, who until 2018 was engaged to The Price is Right host and actor Drew Carey, was also at the January 16th party due to her work for charity providing mental health support to the women in the sex industry. The friend, 45-year-old actress Jasmine St. Clair, claimed that Hardwick's restraining order against PurseHouse had recently expired, and the therapist told her days after the party that when PurseHouse saw her there, he began screaming at her. And we heard this through testimony from Dr. Friendzone and Aspen Jameson, but not that Jameson. Uh, Dirty, spicy schoolgirl, which yikes. Oh my gosh. And possibly a dude. This entire trial is like a dumpster fire on the top of Mount Saint dumpster fire in the middle of a sharknado. It is glorious. It is a glorious asteroid of cringe going into a sharknado of sharks with lasers on their heads. It's just awesome. Um, she'd never mentioned him before, said St. Clair. He wasn't like a Drew Carey, where she'd mention him or any of her other exes who were more significant. This was the first I'd heard of him, was a psycho ex of her started screaming at her at the XBiz Awards. I spoke to her a few days after that, and she was just like, "Yeah, I saw my crazy ex there. It was an over the head thing. She doesn't see the bad in people, but was she concerned? Yes." Even Evans said she heard the alleged altercation from another room at the party. There was an argument, someone screaming at their other half. That was what people perceived of the argument. You could hear loud voices, but I'm not someone who's going to walk towards a problem, she said. Well, I mean, you're at a porn award star, which I think really made a misstep if you're not going to call them the Hardys. One month later, Harwick was at her Hollywood Hills home when her housemate with her housemate when, according to police, PurseHouse attacked her in a violent struggle that ended with her falling 3 stories from a balcony. Later, she died in the hospital from her injuries. The LA coroner ruled Tuesday that 38-year-old former Playboy model died from blunt force injuries to her head and torso, though they also noted evidence of manual strangulation. I mean, she's a beautiful lady, but she's teeny tiny. So he could have, and he's a large man. I mean, Mr. Mo is about 6'4", 6'3", and about Mr. Pursehouse's, weight. And she's what, 5'4"? Yeah, he could have, Mr. Mo could yeet her allegedly off the balcony. Like, I mean, she's maybe two things of what the actual Schnell? I don't want, what are you doing? I don't want, okay. And there's goofy ass Gareth in his, I can do stand-up outfit, which him can't do stand-up. There's a member of The Cure, um, and there's boobies attached to a woman. Very good. I'm just proud of her for being able to walk in high heels. Even before I got her, I could not. The police say Harwick's roommate jumped a wall to run for help while a ferocious fight raged inside the Hilltop house. PurseHouse was arrested at his Playa del Rey home on Monday and released on a $2 million bail, but was rearrested on Wednesday. Oh my gosh, LA, you are dirty. But I'm here for it. Petty, petty, petty. I'm here for it. According to the LA District's office, his charges include the special circumstance allegation of lying in wait, making him eligible for the death penalty. The furious St. Clair, who appeared in the HBO show The Deuce, no comment, says she believes PurseHouse is responsible for her friend's killing and that the death penalty is too good for him. He's a monster. He needs to feel the steel. To stay in jail and not come out. I say living in jail among people knowing what the hell you did is the best thing for him. Having to look over your shoulder every day and night, living that torture is the best punishment ever. The needle is too easy and out for him. Look, y'all, just put him in Gen Pop and tell him that his name is PurseHouse. I mean, honestly, the only thing worse is saying that his name is Prison Pocket, alright? It's just about that's just about, like or have him make him legally have to change his name to Prison Pocket. St. Clair and her friends have launched a petition proposing a new Amy's Law, which would toughen restraining orders imposed by courts to prevent domestic violence. How about making it easier to get a damn concealed carry law? How about that? The proposed bill would abolish expiration dates on restraining orders, only lifting protections when victims feel safe. That would actually be good too, but also medical cannabis grower Travis Nesser, who worked with PurseHouse for 2 years, has known him for about 15 years. He said his friend was normal and easygoing and had never shown sign of violence. This will be a book that I will be purchasing, and it will be our new unbreaded book, but, campaigners also propose a public register for people who have restraining orders against them, similar to the sex offender bases, and seek to remove the requirement for men and women seeking restraining orders to have to appear in court opposite their alleged abusers. Okay, but I could see how this could be abused. You have one crazy woman who decides you don't like her and she wants to be insane. This could be so abused. You could do it through a video conference and just deal with the judge. You don't have to see the person's face because it's terrifying, St. Clair explained. It needs to be passed and it needs to be passed immediately because there are millions of other Amy's out there. We don't know about them because the police don't take it seriously. When you are a victim of such behavior, you feel scared. You don't you don't know if you have to pack up your life and go elsewhere. Despite the actress's damning claims against PurseHouse, the computer programmer's friends were shocked to hear that he'd been accused of any violence. Medical cannabis grower Travis Nesser, 41, who worked with PurseHouse for 2 years and has known him for about 15. Okay, you guys in the comments, tell me if he smells like patchouli and if he has one of them screaming bowls and a bunch of crystals. Said his friend was normal and easygoing and had never shown sign of violence. Nesser also added that in one of their most recent conversations last year, the 41-year-old had boasted about dating an 18-year-old woman. Okay, well, the only reason a 41-year-old dates an 18-year-old woman is because other women who are nearer his age don't wanna deal with his bullshit. Listen, let me explain this to you. That is because women his own age who, are adults, don't want to deal with his ridiculousness. So he is about to train up a girl who will, not see that most of his BS is stupid manipulation, narcissistic, semi-abusive BS. And they'll accept it as normal, relationship stuff. Whereas 30 to 40-year-olds are gonna be like, "Nah, nah, red flag, red flag, red flag. Mm-mm-mm. Nope, that's some bullshit." And they'll call him on it. That is the only reason a 41-year-old is gonna date an 18-year-old. Because what are they gonna talk about? Sync or whatever band, like Dre or I don't know new bands. Henry Styles, One Direction, I don't even know. Evans thought PurseHouse had a lot of energy and was always amped up when he was talking. He was one of those people you would have never expected something like this. Hmm. Well, he did, make that joke about the brother-sister love, thing. Well, I mean, yeah, it's never the ones you suspect, is it? Although I've seen his stand-up and I suspected him from the beginning. Alright, well, anyways, that is thank you, reindeer, for bringing this up and finding this, and I will see you guys in a little bit. We'll be covering day 3, the morning, and then you will be going over to Sal and Excited Utterance for the afternoon. It is Friday, and I will be having a date night with Mr. Mo. So, I will see you guys probably Saturday for a stream with Baker, and then we'll be doing some other fun stuff on the weekend. And I will be giving you guys some other different videos that are some fun, some other court things. And then next week, I will be trying out a little bit of maybe a morning live stream with some short kind of 4 or 5 different story kind of video lineups and see how that goes. Maybe a 9 AM kind of sort of 9 or 10 AM kind of sticks kind of thing where I just do, a couple news things, kind of chit chat, crime sort of thing where I just do some different fun things and maybe some what in the Walmart stories that I find every day, and we'll just go from there. But it's something I'm playing with, and we'll see how the internet likes it. We'll see. But as always, you may not be everyone's cup of tea, but you are always welcome here. We are a big family, we're a big circle, and we are welcoming you here. So sit down, have a cup of tea, have a cup of coffee, Diet Coke, you know what you like, and get here for the cringe, giggles, and fun, because we love you. See you later.